and staring at me. And I was kind of worried, you know. I kind of thought, well, is there something wrong with me or something? And like this, my face, I thought maybe my face was getting red or you know.
Growing up from girl to woman, there's so much to get used to. This is the time when a whole new set of feelings unfolds. Feelings about yourself and boys and your maturing body.
And everybody came back to school, and everybody looked up at him, you know, Mike, what happened? You know, because he'd grown so much, you know, nobody could believe it, because he just shot up.
And the girls who aren't so well built, well, they're sort of afraid to wear tight sweaters because then they think that people are going to laugh at them and make fun. Oh, look, she's wearing a tight sweater, and that shows you everything she's got.
If anybody kissed me or anything, I'd be afraid that they'd think I was too young or, I don't know, I think a lot of girls do. My girlfriend and everybody I know does.
Well, when a boy has kissed me or something and you have that, you know, you have that feeling, you know, you feel real good. And you want everyone to know, you know, you want everyone to know you were out of sight that night.
And I went out and I asked my dad a question or something, and he just blew up at me, and he says, oh, go in and do your work and everything. And everybody was just really mad at me. I just felt so terrible because it was my fault and everything.
And they were just kidding. They were holding hands with him, putting their arms around him and everything. They were just kidding, you know. And so they finally said, well, it's Wendy's boyfriend. And so they pushed me into him and everything, and he took my hand. But, you know, I didn't know that. I just held him like that, you know. And so he looked down and he told me, you're supposed to hold him like that, you know. And I didn't know that. I was really embarrassed because I thought, you know, I mean, if I'm going to stay, I might as well know that.
Well, see, there was this really cute guy that sat next to me, behind me, and he kept, I don't know if he had a crush on me or what, but he kept, you know, writing all over my blouse. And I had this one time that my girls...
A time of change. One of the changes is a speed up in the rate of growth. Ruth started her growth spurt 2 years ago. Gail is just beginning. Both are the same age, both perfectly normal. Some girls begin adolescence at 9 or 10 years, others as late as 15 or 16. These girls are both age 10, now 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. At 16, one is physically mature. The other still has years to grow. Because boys, on the average, mature later than girls, some girls will be taller for a while than many boys their age.
And he asked me to dance. And I got up and I started dancing with him. And his shoulder was like right there. And I just hadn't realized, you know, how much he'd grown. And then when I was dancing with him, and he seemed, last year he'd seemed, you know, kind of unsure, and this year he felt like it just, you were dancing with a pillar of iron or something, you know, just all this muscle standing there. It just kind of, you know, I thought, hey,
I knew this girl once in 7th grade, and she would never take showers. All semester she didn't take a single shower because she was more developed than everybody else in 7th grade, and she was real embarrassed because she was afraid they would tease her or make fun of her or something. Because
some people mind not being the same size and shape as most of their friends. If you're one of those, take heart. You're perfectly normal. In 3 or 4 years, differences in height and size and shape will be much less than during adolescence. Another change that happens at adolescence is in the skin. Whenever a person exercises or is hot, sweat glands produce perspiration over most of the body. But when Gail started adolescence, another kind of sweat gland began to work. These new glands work when you are nervous, tense, or afraid.
Hello? Yeah? Who? Oh, Bob. Sure, I remember you. I met you at the game with Jack. Betty? Oh, that Bob.
They are concentrated on the body in a few places. For instance, under the arms. Perspiration from these glands has an unpleasant odor.
Mom, where's the blouse I ironed yesterday?
On the ironing board where you left it.
Okay, thank you.
Naturally, you need to change clothes more frequently. And girls also need to bathe or shower more often than before adolescence. The condition called acne is another of the changes in the skin that occurs at adolescence. Here is a drawing showing a cross-section of the skin. There are countless glands in the skin called sebaceous glands. Each one opens into a hair follicle, the channel from which a hair grows. A sebaceous gland produces an oily substance that passes up the hair follicle to the skin's surface. When a girl reaches adolescence, these glands increase the production of oil, much more in some people than in others. Also during adolescence, the skin begins to grow more rapidly, and here and there will obstruct some of the openings. The oily material mixed with particles of skin clogs and hardens, forming a plug. When the plug remains, it darkens and becomes what we know as a blackhead. Since the sebaceous gland continues to produce oil, it may eventually cause the hair follicle to break. The skin becomes red and swollen, and finally a small infection may start. Multiply this several times, and you have acne. The best way to keep acne under control is by washing thoroughly with a mild soap and warm water 2 or 3 times a day. This removes oil and helps to clear pores that are beginning to plug. Sometimes doctors recommend special soaps to help remove the oil from the skin. Many doctors believe that acne is affected by food, saying that meals heavy in fats, starches, and sweets will make acne worse. Other doctors disagree, arguing that no one has proved that food affects the skin. At least all doctors agree that you can't go wrong if you eat plenty of proteins, vegetables, and fruits. There is something that a girl can do for her skin, though, without asking a doctor. Exercise affects health, and health affects the skin. Rest is also important. When a girl is run down, her skin becomes run down, too. The effect of exercise and rest is indirect, but it's very real.